the pledge and we'll get going.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty. Agenda item, approval of minutes. Go right down the procedures here.
So the meeting minutes are in the back, that's the stapled package.
Okay. Yep.
As the meeting minutes, it has a copy of the bid tab from the filed subbidders, and then the listing of all the invoices that were approved.
Okay, yep.
Motion to approve the minutes from October 3rd.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the minutes from October 3rd. Any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? The ayes have it. Number 4, approval of invoices. I'm assuming that's what I have right in front of me, these three?
Yes, so there are 3 invoices. One is for BFS Business Printing. That's the printer who's been doing the bid documents for us. This was,
Yep.
looks like this was addendas that went out, so that's the cost of that is $312.75. Do you want me to go through the 3?
We just go through all 3, yeah.
Okay. You have one for Strategic Building Solutions, Colliers, that's us, for OPM services. That's in the amount of $11,794.
Correct.
And then the last invoice is for SMMA, the design team, in the amount of $86,520.
Okay, so that gets, that got them to bid, correct? That was for.
Yeah, that, it's not, I don't believe it's the full amount of the bid.
No, that's one.
84, let's see, 86.
60% complete.
Yeah, so there is still, that gets us up to the, probably to the filed subbidders or
Yeah,
or
okay,
portion, it's a portion of the bidding, we'll call it.
okay. Okay, I'll entertain a motion for either one or all 3 at the same time, however anybody wants to
Move
do
to
it.
accept all 3 as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. Any discussion on any of the invoices? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, and I will sign it as chair. Now, we have signature of chairman/vice chairman. Is that
Yeah, it's
either
just
or?
because, yeah,
We've been doing either or, right?
Whoever's,
Yes.
happens to be here at the meeting.
All right, next on the agenda. What did I do with it? Review general contract submitted bids. Tim?
Okay, so, today we opened bids for general contractors. We, received 4 bids, but, being that one was, submitted late, we couldn't open it, and we returned it to the.
Oh, that's too bad. I mean, like, you're talking like minutes, like?
Yeah,
8 minutes, yeah.
Huh?
8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Ah, it's too bad.
yeah, it's a shame.
A lot of work goes into putting one together and qualifying.
Yeah, I'm sure, their office isn't gonna be happy, but we couldn't accept it.
No.
But, we did get 3 bidders, Hutter Construction, Fontaine Brothers, and J&J Contractors. 2 of the 3 were very close. All 3 were, close to budget. J&J was over our, well, actually, no, they were just under our estimated, or what our budget was. We were targeting, $36.5 million for the project, so they came in at $36,257. The base bid, though, for, the low base bid was Hutter Construction at $32,175,000 even, followed by Fontaine at $32,218,000.
Or that close, huh?
Yeah, very close.
Oh.
So, even though we had only a couple bidders, the fact that they're so close shows that we, the documents are consistent, everyone's looking at them the same way. And I think both of these firms submitted a lot of questions, and we're very interested in really working this to try and go after this aggressively. So that's great news. You'll also remember that we had some alternates. One kind of a program alternate, which was doors to the group meeting rooms off the corridors. The idea of those is that you can open them up and kind of extend that space into the corridor to really use that space of the corridor as part of the learning environment, and not just just for, you know, where it's not being used most of the day. So that was kind of a kind of one of a program element. The next two alternates were where we're kind of hedging our bets against the bid, see where they would come in, and so we kind of put a reduced finish in the base scope of work, and add alternates were to increase the level of finish in the cafeteria and the flooring, and then in the flooring in the corridors. So in the corridors, to go from a VCT, a vinyl tile, to a linoleum product. And in the cafeteria, it was to go from a
linoleum to a porcelain tile.
to a porcelain tile. So,
Definitely a better wear surface.
yeah, if you'll recall, when we kind of came up with these things, you do have to do them in order, and so that's why we prioritized, or you prioritized, those folding partitions as the first alternate, then the two finish items. And then we did have a fourth one, and that was just kind of, as we were doing it, we kind of were talking about it and kind of came up with, let's throw this additional bookcases in, just to kind of have see what it's worth kind of thing. But I think the consensus from the group originally was that the priority was really those first three.
The wear surfaces, yep.
Yeah, add durability and program for the building. So, being that we are under budget, if you were to take these alternates, you would have to take them in order. So what I've passed out is it has the bid amount
With all
of
the-
each alternate, and
with
then
each
below
alternate.
that is the running total.
Yep.
So if you took all three of those alternates, Fontaine Brothers actually comes out to be the low bidder at $32,552,000. And Hutter Construction comes in at $32,567,000. So they're still
is-
very close.
That
even
is
on the
crazy
alternates.
on a 32, it's dollar for dollar, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, good, yep.
so, being part of these conversations, I remember, quite vividly, the conversations around the three, alternates. I remember, though, that, again, I think it's well stated to say that we threw in the bookcases, right? There was this issue. I also remember quite vividly that, when asked, quite frankly, that when I said this, I'll say it in the best way I can, that we really didn't need the bookcases, so this was not really something that was a priority. I think we were trying to find as many different things as we possibly could to hedge our bet. But again, it was in fact thought of as a kind of a frill, if I may use
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
term. But it really at no time. Again, we are trying to keep the costs as low as possible. There are going to be some things that we're going to have to decide on, and quite just from my point of view is that I just don't think that we even need these bookcases whatsoever. Because there's going to be some costs down the road. We know this. I know that we're under budget, but clearly we're going to need as much of this, if any of it. But anyway, I would like to throw that out there for discussion, is to really just throw out that fourth alternate, because it wasn't really considered, and nor was it discussed to be a serious alternate.
Okay.
And as I recall, it wasn't all the bookcases, it was the tall.
It's the tall book.
Yes.
The tall ones, right.
They still have bookcases in the.
Yeah, we have, yes.
It was just, it was extra bookcases is what it was.
And as technology moves to
Do
electronic.
they still have books?
Well, that's the next question.
Well,
Can we apply it towards laptops?
well, listen,
Tablets,
not
Elvis.
to be funny about this, but we now are competing with the available wall space, given how technology has changed. It was talking about carts, and of course, we're always talking about carts and those type of things, but we're really talking about projection now. And every bit of that space, and this was a topic of conversation with the tech department, is that you need your pin boards, you need your whiteboards, but you also need every bit of
Projector
space
boards.
for everything else, for the technology to be projected on and to be used. So, like I said, those are the tall bookcases, and that's actually going to take up space, and that was the concern back now,
Okay.
X amount of months.
Well, why don't we do this, from the board standpoint, because that's what we need to do tonight. Let's just start on the first alternate, because we can't go from 4, 3, 2, 1.
No, absolutely.
So let's just start at 1. As far as the board, like I said, we're here to, seems like we're getting a pretty frugal start by having the really competitive bids to begin with.
Right.
So let's just move forward with that. With the folding glass doors, anybody care to chime in on that, on the alternate 1? That was our highest priority as far as moving forward, as it was.
Needed.
From the design, it almost seems more of a need than a priority.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, those can almost be set up as separate rooms, the way those folding doors set up and
Yeah.
open up.
No, I'm just saying as far as, because if, the only way we're gonna get to 2 and 3 is if
Oh, I
we have to
understand.
go through
Yeah,
1.
right, 1 is
But I don't want
No,
1
you-
to,
You have to go through those, right.
right, so, okay, so is everybody good with alternate 1? As far as moving forward? Alternate 2, I mean, to me, any type of,
I'm definitely in favor
from a mop standpoint,
of a cleaning standpoint, yeah.
Yeah.
but also too, we're getting longevity, a lot more longevity out of the
Yeah,
flooring for actually 2, actually,
And 3 for that
and
matter.
3 for that matter, especially
for that
3 going
matter,
to,
yeah. A tile,
to tile floor.
yeah.
So with that being said, not picking an individual, I mean, if our estimated budget was what, Tim, just roughly $36 million?
36.5.
36.5, and we're at, just looking at the other 2, I mean, we're at 32.5, so even with the alternates, we're still at about a $4 million,
Under budget.
under budget, in our favor. You know, we still have contingencies and so on and so forth, and like Chris said, it's not reason to celebrate yet, but it's an extra breath to just know you're getting into the project, not being
Out of
right
the
to the
gate.
wire, or even over the wire, so to speak, so. And myself, I'm gonna leave it up to the experts, Mr. Casavan, as far as, I do remember the conversation of bookshelves, because it wasn't, so everybody knows that's listening or gonna watch us on TV. We're not doing away with bookshelves, but was adding tall bookshelves in elementary school almost don't make sense.
Exactly. It wasn't about it would be void of book space, of bookshelves at all. These are bookshelves that are taller, that take up wall space that we were concerned about actually at the very beginning, just because of the
Okay.
wall space issue.
I think the comment was made that they were tall enough that the little kids wouldn't be able to reach them anyways.
That was and it could be, although they'll be bolted, it's still a challenge to climb those, don't you know? So,
Not for kids, it ain't.
yeah. But the point is
Maybe
that
for yourself, not
that
for
actually
kids.
came into play as well.
All right, so with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to recommend that we go with the 3 alternates, with base price plus 3 alternates. And Tim, do you want to chime in on the
Yeah, what-
comfort level on the, I mean, we're good, these are all pre-qualified guys, it's just a matter of now, we're shooting a number, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think whether it's Hutter or Fontaine or J&J, they're all pre-qualified. I think based on the alternates that you want, it does change who the low bidder is. So
Yeah.
if you were to check 1 through 3, the low bidder would be Fontaine. Fontaine has a great reputation in the state. They do a lot of work.
They do, yeah.
I don't think you would have any qualms about going with them at all. And as far as a motion, I think what you want to do is recommend, this committee recommends to the school committee to go to contract with, if you take the 3 alternates, like it sounds like you would, then it would be Fontaine, and then the school committee would then, vote
Move forward from there.
and move forward with entering into a contract with.
Well, not school
What?
committee, selectmen.
Selectmen would.
No.
See, we've had that conversation because of the funding source, that it has to. Carter, here to chime in?
We've reviewed that, we had a meeting with Department of Revenue out here about 3 weeks ago, and I said, schools awarded by the town, and they said, oh, no. So the way this works is, you get complete and total control of it, and you get to pay for it all. And I
A great
did
scenario.
get the documents between the school building authority and the district, and then the sub-agreement, the intermunicipal agreement, if you will, between the schools and the town. And it's pretty clear, at least to me,
Right, okay.
that it is the school's authority. Now, given that the town's paying for it, we did want to talk about a few dates procedurally, so that the town is informed and involved each step of the way.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it is an award by the regional school committee.
Okay, all right.
That's,
And be happy to get you that document if you.
No, I just wanted, just for
No,
clarification,
just-
voting, so we
yeah.
don't have to revisit it.
No,
That's all.
he's right. I
Okay.
had thought that myself.
Okay,
And
all
I
right.
think we all thought that
I think so, yeah.
going back a few months.
Yeah, so in clarifying it and reviewing it, that's the way it's been set up. There was a agreement between the town and the school committee about how they would approach this, because the MSBA sees the district as the entity. If you recall, when
remember,
Dr. Hemming
yeah.
was here, he went through a lot of that back and forth, and we kind of spun a little bit until we had it figured out. But so that's how it would work. So the way I see it working is that this committee would want to get in front of the select board, let them know what the plan is, how the bids came in, and give them a little summary of what your recommendations are to the school committee. And then after that, the school committee vote to go to contract. What we would do then is we would issue a letter of intent, notice to proceed. It would allow the contractor to start mobilizing, kind of getting their things lined up. And we'd probably put a cap on what we're allowing them to do until a contract is signed, but, you know, we'd say that we anticipate signing a contract within, 30 days or whatever, a relatively
Don't
small
like
amount of time.
fencing, office trails, anything they choose at that time.
Yeah, that way they can at least start getting their team together, putting together their
Field
letters of
office and
intent for their MBE, WBE firms that they're gonna be required to meet those requirements. They'd start getting their scheduler to start pulling together their schedule. So there's a lot of upfront work before they even get out on the site
Oh, yeah.
that they'd start with. So that's kind of how I would anticipate that happening.
Hank, when does are you on that committee as well, the school committee?
Yes, yeah.
When do they meet?
So it's a different, so we actually meet the 18th, which is next Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
The town meets the following Monday.
It does.
So what I've already, I spoke to the chair, and we're gonna obviously have our school committee meeting in normal time, but we'll hopefully get on the calendar to be able to come before the board on Monday,
The 23rd.
the 23rd, and then we have already tentatively scheduled an additional school committee meeting for the 25th to address only this, this
Right.
issue.
The Q&A back and forth, in case any
Absolutely.
questions, okay.
Absolutely. So we're moving as quickly as we can, so after the Monday meeting, we would have a meeting on Wednesday, discuss the topic, they will vote, and then at that point, Right.
Do you want me to, can I fill you in on
Yeah,
the,
sure,
sort of the
please.
balance of the timeline?
Please, yeah.
So we had initially discussed trying to have the actual construction contract signed before the town meeting in case we got another repeal petition. We did not get any such repeal petition as of yesterday, which was the closing. So if you come in front of the select board on the 23rd, give them the update, make sure there's some nodding heads. Then you meet with the school committee on the 25th or whatever you scheduled. They can issue that letter of intent. Your OPM will advise you on that. And then we're going out to bid on the next tranche of debt financing. We borrowed about $5 million to cure a technical deficit in this account, but more importantly, show the Department of Revenue, the credit rating agencies and others that there are people that would actually lend to us, that we are credit worthy. So we'll be going out to bid on the next tranche, $15 million. We'll work out the number on the 21st or 22nd of November, I believe. The select board will then, actually, that's when we're getting the bids in. The selectmen will award the bond anticipation notes on the 27th of November. And once we have that awarded, we know we can get 12, 15 million, which means we know we can get the rest of it.
Right.
Then you'll be able to sign the construction contract on or about December 1.
Which ties in perfectly with where we are.
The actual contract itself gets signed by the school committee once again, and then we take it from there as far as the actual running the
Right,
project, so to
exactly,
speak.
Yeah,
Right, because
exactly.
any contract of itself is through the school committee, right?
So the contract is is between, the GC, right? The general
And-
contractor, and, it would be the school committee.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we're not signing any contracts with the GC, we're just
No,
running it.
no, we're just,
once a-
we'll run it afterwards.
Everybody goes back into the closet once they sign it,
Honestly,
right?
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
This really works out nicely, because you get a chance to get in front of the select board,
Yeah.
make sure everybody's still comfortable, you get a
Yeah.
chance to get in front of the school committee.
Last call, so to
There's an
speak.
awfully lot of work, bonding, insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Subcontracts,
All that stuff.
scheduling, all that stuff. The town knows it's got the money, and then you sign the actual contract. And so you have limited exposure up to that.
The town
point.
has fully vacated that school up there, right? Correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. All right, with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to award the contract to Fontaine Brothers for the base price and up to number 3 alternate of $32,552,000 even.
Go ahead, Nick.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
And a second. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. First steps, Fontaine Brothers, if everything goes smoothly.
But yeah, I was thinking the same.
Okay, any new business?
The only new business would be, I don't know if we wanna, just thinking in terms of the 23rd and 25th, set up a next time that this group needs to meet. If we're gonna be going before the school committee on the 25th, really then we're into November probably before we necessarily need to meet again.
Yep.
And then maybe at that point, we can get into kind of a regular monthly meeting on a certain
Yeah.
schedule.
Do we wanna go back to Tuesdays, see like the first or third Tuesday? Planning board, I meet second and fourth, so first and third, if we wanna go, that's what we've been doing for the longest time, because Tuesdays seem to fit with everybody's schedules. Hank, is that still good for you, on the Tuesdays, the first and thirds or something like that?
Whenever.
First, third, or fifth Tuesday, any odd number Tuesday,
I'll be
actually,
there, yeah.
because planning meets on second and fourth, and I'm chairman of that board as well, so it's a little time consuming, but Tuesdays works good.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not gonna be available, I'm leaving, I'll be out of town from the 19th to like the 23rd, but I'll be back for the school committee on the 25th if need be.
Okay. We'll send out a notice. Obviously, it'll be posted, but I'll send the notice out to all.
And the school committee meets where, at central office?
It'll meet, probably in the, just given the, we'll meet in the Kiva.
In the Kiva, okay. If I could get an email on that?
Yep.
Chris, I appreciate it, thank you.
And, Mr. Chairman, if there's any documents you want to give to the selectmen, or just sort of a memo of recapping and the bid tabulation sheet, if I could get those, if I close the business next Wednesday, I can get them in their packages so that.
Tim, could you
had
supply
a
that
chance
to
to look
kind
at the report.
basically what we're looking at and
Yes.
just kind of a narrative of what we
Bids, sub-bids,
discussed?
all that stuff, yeah.
Yep.
And you could actually just delete off number 4, because it was not a big item anyway, so just go up to 3, and it basically gets us to where we started and why we ended up where we are.
So did we say the first or third
Oh,
Tuesday?
either or, so I mean, I think we should probably jump earlier than later, just in case, because everything happening so fast.
Okay, so
is
first Tuesday of the month, and then if we,
You can always
for whatever
change
reason can't do that, we have the third Tuesday of the
Right,
month that we
exactly,
could-
so that would, in that's the case, it would be the 7th. Oh, 7th is
November
election
7th.
day. Can we meet on election day? Yeah, we can meet on election day, right, legally?
You can.
Yeah, okay,
Holidays, you really shouldn't.
right, but, okay, it's, Tuesday's very seldom on a holiday, so, okay.
Actually, for the next 2 months, that works out well, because the holiday's towards the end of the next 2 months.
Yeah, so we'll do first, third, and fifth as far as keeping those Tuesdays open for alternates.
So what was the first meeting today? I missed it.
November
Not every
7th.
month has 5
November
Tuesdays, but some do.
Yeah.
If you hit it just right.
All right, got it.
Actually, January does, now that I say that, I'm scrolling through.
5th is the first one?
The 7th, November 7th. And so we'll just meet here, guys, I'm sure. Guys and ladies.
Thank you.
That's you, Teresa. In case you wonder. And Jen, Jen too.
I know.
Thank you.
6 o'clock.
Yeah. Town Hall. One more reason for my phone to beep that day. Okay, any other new business?
Move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
We're done.
great.
Thank you.